Welcome to World Numismatic Finds, where today we shine a light on some fascinating pieces of Australian coinage that carry with them stories of history, heritage, and value. From the Australian penny of 1948, minted in the early post-war era when the nation was rebuilding and strengthening its identity, to the Australian penny of 1842, one of the earliest colonial issues that reflects the roots of Australia's monetary system, each coin speaks volumes about the era it represents. We also look at the Australian halfpenny of 1938, struck at a time when the Kangaroo design began making its mark as a true national symbol, and finally the 2010 Australian 20-cent coin celebrating the centenary of the Australian Taxation Office, a modern commemorative release that ties into the nation's governance and economic history. Together, these coins create a bridge between the colonial past and the modern Commonwealth, making them not only valuable to collectors but also cherished reminders of Australia's evolving story. Let's get started. The Australian one-penny coin of 1948 is a fascinating piece of numismatic history that continues to draw the attention of coin collectors across the world. In this video, we'll be diving deep into the story of this coin, looking at its design, its cultural value, the factors that make it rare today, and of course, the market value it can fetch if you are lucky enough to hold one in good condition. The 1948 penny might appear to be just another small copper coin at first glance, but beneath that humble surface lies a strong connection to Australia's identity in the post-war era, and that is what makes it such a treasure to collectors today. When we look at the background, the penny was part of Australia's pre-decimal currency system, which was in use before the introduction of decimal currency in 1966. The 1948 issue sits at a unique period in history, as the nation was rebuilding after the Second World War, and coins such as this served as everyday reminders of resilience and continuity. The obverse of the coin, or what most people would call the head, features the portrait of King George VI, who was the reigning monarch at the time. This depiction of the king gave the coin an official weight and dignity, tying Australia firmly to its Commonwealth heritage. On the reverse side, or the tail, we see the iconic leaping kangaroo, a symbol that instantly identifies the coin as distinctly Australian. This design not only highlighted Australia's national identity but also added an artistic appeal that has made the penny series so widely admired. From a cultural and historical perspective, the 1948 penny embodies more than its face value ever suggested. It was a coin that circulated in the pockets of ordinary Australians, used for everyday purchases like bread, milk, or a tram ticket. Yet, because of the timing of its release and the connection to King George VI's reign, it has become a snapshot of Australian society in the late 1940s. The kangaroo design reinforced a growing sense of national pride, and collectors today often see the coin not just as currency, but as a piece of heritage. The technical specifications of the 1948 penny are also worth noting. Struck in bronze, the coin weighs around 9.45 grams and measures 30.8 millimeters in diameter. These details make it instantly recognizable to numismatists, and its durability as a metal coin means that many examples have survived to this day. However, not all surviving coins are equal when it comes to condition, and this is where rarity and value come into play. Key facts about the 1948 penny include its mintage numbers, which were relatively high compared to some other issues, meaning it was widely circulated at the time. Yet, over the decades, natural wear, loss, and damage have significantly reduced the number of high-quality examples that exist today. Collectors place a premium on coins that have been preserved in better grades, especially those that retain sharp details of the king's portrait and the kangaroo motif. A coin in circulation condition may still carry value, but those that are uncirculated or close to it become extremely desirable and can command astonishing sums. This brings us to the heart of what collectors are always curious about: rarity and market value. While the 1948 penny is not the rarest of all Australian pennies, its scarcity in high-grade condition makes it one of the more sought-after pieces. For coins that have been through the hands of everyday Australians and show heavy wear, the value might remain modest. However, if you happen to find or own a piece in excellent, well-preserved condition, it can be worth far more than its humble origins suggest. In recent years, collectors have seen values for the finest specimens rise into the tens of thousands. A pristine example can reach figures around 19,600 Australian dollars, while the absolute best, near-perfect coins can push as high as $24,500 at auction. These amounts highlight just how competitive and passionate the numismatic market can be, particularly when it comes to coins tied to Australia's cultural story. For collectors, the 1948 penny offers both a challenge and a reward. The challenge lies in locating a specimen that has survived the decades in sharp condition, free from scratches, dents, or environmental damage. The reward, of course, is both the satisfaction of owning a significant piece of history and the potential financial value that comes with it. Tips for collectors include carefully examining any penny for detail clarity, checking for signs of original luster, and ensuring authenticity by referencing trusted numismatic guides or professional grading services. Storage is equally important. Keeping coins in proper holders or albums can prevent further deterioration and preserve their worth for the future. In conclusion, the Australian 1-penny coin of 1948 is far more than just an old piece of bronze. It is a link to the country's post-war era, a reflection of its Commonwealth ties under King George VI, and a proud display of its national symbol, the kangaroo. For collectors, it represents an opportunity to hold history in their hands, while also pursuing a coin that has proven to be both culturally significant and financially valuable. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or someone just starting to appreciate the beauty of old coins, the 1948 penny is a shining example of why Australian coins are held in such high regard worldwide. The growing demand and the impressive market values only confirm its place as one of the treasures of Australian numismatics. Number 2. When we talk about remarkable coins in Australian history, the 1938 1/2 penny stands out as a fascinating piece that continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. In this video, we will take a journey into the past, exploring the story of this coin, its background, design, cultural importance, rarity, and why it remains such a prized possession in the numismatic market today. The 1/2 penny of 1938 marked a significant moment in Australian coinage. This was the first year the halfpenny bore the new reverse design created by George Kruger Gray, featuring the well-known image of a kangaroo leaping to the left. On the obverse, the head of King George VI appears, facing left, a strong symbol of the monarchy at the time. This combination of regal portraiture and Australian fauna brought together the traditions of the empire and the growing identity of Australia as a nation. The halfpenny was a small denomination but held a large place in everyday transactions, circulating widely in shops, markets, and households. Culturally and historically, the 1938 halfpenny represents far more than just its face value. Australia, in the late 1930s, was still feeling the effects of the Great Depression while also preparing for the challenges of a world edging toward war. Coins such as this were not only tools of trade but silent witnesses to resilience, resourcefulness, and the spirit of ordinary Australians. The kangaroo motif, in particular, became a unifying emblem of national pride, while the presence of the King's portrait kept the strong link to Britain alive during those times. From a technical perspective, the 1938 halfpenny weighed about 5.67 grams and was struck in bronze, a composition of copper, tin, and zinc. Its diameter was 25.5 millimeters, making it smaller than the penny but still very recognizable in circulation. Despite being an everyday coin, its introduction year and relatively low survival in higher grades have made it a standout for collectors. Key facts that make the 1938 halfpenny particularly special include its status as the first year of issue for the new reverse design, its link to King George VI's reign, and the difficulty in locating examples in top condition. Most circulated heavily, and very few survived without significant wear. Because of this, uncirculated examples are particularly scarce and command strong prices at auction and in private sales. When it comes to rarity and collector demand, this is where the 1938 halfpenny shines most brightly. Circulated examples are not impossible to find, but coins in high grade, particularly those with little to no wear and strong mint luster, are extremely rare. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for such coins because they symbolize the very best preservation of an important part of Australian coinage history. This has driven values higher over the decades, and the coin remains a sought-after treasure. In terms of today's market value, the 1938 1/2 penny can fetch impressive figures depending on condition. A circulated coin may be affordable for beginners in the hobby, but when we move into higher grades, especially uncirculated specimens, prices skyrocket. At present, a top-quality uncirculated 1938 halfpenny has been known to sell for around $14,300 Australian dollars, while at the very highest grades and with superior eye appeal, values can soar as high as 18,000 Australian dollars. These figures show the strong demand for this coin, highlighting its enduring appeal and investment potential in the numismatic community. For collectors, the best advice is to always focus on condition and authenticity. Pay close attention to the detail in both the King's portrait and the kangaroo, as sharp strikes and minimal wear dramatically enhance value. Look for coins with original mint luster where possible, as these are the hardest to find. It is also wise to purchase from reputable dealers or have coins certified by trusted grading services to ensure their authenticity and accurate assessment of grade. Storing coins carefully, away from moisture and direct handling, will also help maintain their condition over time. In conclusion, the 1938 1/2 penny of Australia is more than just a piece of bronze. It is a historical artifact, a cultural symbol, and a coveted rarity that bridges the everyday life of Australians in the late 1930s with the passion of collectors today. Its unique design, first-year issue status, and scarcity in high grade all combined to make it one of the most desirable coins in Australian numismatics. With market values ranging from $14,300 to an impressive $18,000 for top examples, it stands proudly as a reminder that even the smallest denominations can leave the biggest legacy. If you are fortunate enough to own or acquire one, you are holding a true treasure of Australia's coinage heritage. At number 3, the 2010 Australian 20-cent coin released to mark the centenary of the Australian Taxation Office. At first glance, many people may think of it as just another 20-cent piece in their change, but this coin carries with it a unique story and, in certain cases, a surprising value that has captured the interest of serious collectors across the country. With a century of taxation history woven into its design and a limited run, it is now recognized as a rare find in circulation, and in today's collector market it is commanding prices that can leave anyone astonished, ranging between $10,700 and even as high as $15,300 Australian dollars when found in the finest condition. To understand the importance of this coin, it is worth stepping back into the background of its issue. The year 2010 marked 100 years since the establishment of the Australian Taxation Office, an institution that has played a critical role in shaping the nation's economy and development. To honour this milestone, the Royal Australian Mint struck a special commemorative 20-cent coin which entered general circulation, meaning everyday Australians could quite literally hold a piece of history in their hands. The coin features the standard effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, representing the nation's ties to the Crown and following the tradition of Australian currency. On the reverse, the design reflects the centenary theme of the ATO, celebrating a century of service and governance in managing Australia's taxation framework, an essential pillar of the nation's growth. Culturally and historically, this coin holds far more than its face value. The centenary of the Australian Taxation Office may not sound as romantic as a military anniversary or a royal event, but it symbolises the backbone of Australia's progress and infrastructure. Every road, school, hospital, and public service is funded through the work of the taxation system, and this coin was a quiet reminder of the shared responsibility and collective effort of the Australian people in building the country. As such, it has a deep cultural resonance, linking ordinary Australians to the very institution that helps keep the nation running. When it comes to the technical side, the coin maintains the familiar specifications of the 20-cent denomination. It is struck in cupra nickel, weighing 11.30 grams, with a diameter of 28.52 millimeters. These details are important to collectors, as they maintain continuity with the broader 20-cent series while distinguishing the coin through its unique commemorative design. Key facts about this release include its commemorative purpose, its circulation issue, and the fact that although millions were struck, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most entered circulation and were subject to the usual wear and tear of daily use. This is why today, examples in mint state or proof-like condition are so incredibly rare and valuable. In fact, it is the condition that makes all the difference. Ordinary worn pieces may be worth only a little more than face value, but pristine examples are reaching staggering amounts at auctions, with serious collectors driving the demand. In terms of rarity and condition, this is where the coin's true magic lies. Circulated examples are naturally easier to find but may not fetch extraordinary values. However, when an uncirculated coin is discovered, one that has been carefully preserved from the very beginning, its desirability skyrockets. Collectors understand the scarcity of such pieces, and the competition to own them has driven values into the range of $10,700 to $15,300 Australian dollars. Such figures are remarkable for a coin with a face value of just 20 cents, making it a testament to the significance of condition in numismatics. For collectors, the current market value is both a motivation and a caution. It reminds us that treasures can still be found in the most ordinary of places, such as loose change, coin jars, or old collections that have been tucked away for years. At the same time, it underscores the importance of preservation. If you are lucky enough to find one of these coins, handle it carefully, store it properly in a protective case, and avoid cleaning or polishing, as this can significantly diminish its value. Collectors are advised to have their coins professionally graded if they believe they have an uncirculated piece, as certification provides assurance and adds credibility in the marketplace. In conclusion, the Australian 20-cent coin of 2010 celebrating the centenary of the Australian Taxation Office is more than just a piece of currency. It is a reflection of Australia's history, culture, and resilience, and in pristine condition, it is one of the most sought-after modern coins among collectors. Its story reminds us that even in everyday pocket change, there may be hidden gems of incredible value. With prices reaching between $10,700 and $15,300 in today's market, this coin exemplifies how modern commemoratives can achieve legendary status when rarity and condition align. For collectors, It is not only a financial investment but also a chance to hold in their hands a unique piece of Australian heritage. At last, the 1 penny coin of Australia from the year 1942. This coin, though originally minted for everyday use, has now gained significant attention among collectors due to its rarity, historic context, and increasing market value. It's a perfect example of how ordinary pocket change from the past can transform into a highly desirable collector's treasure in the present day. The 1942 Australian penny was struck during the height of the Second World War, a time when Australia was under immense pressure both militarily and economically. The coin was produced not only at the Melbourne Mint in Australia but also overseas in Bombay, India, to meet wartime demand. This background adds tremendous historical weight to the coin, as each piece serves as a small reminder of Australia's resilience during one of the most challenging chapters in its history. On the obverse, or head side, you will find the effigy of King George VI, who was the reigning monarch at the time, facing left, an image crafted by Thomas Humphrey Paget. The reverse, or tail side, features the iconic leaping kangaroo, designed by George Kruger Gray, along with the word Australia arching above and the denomination penny below, both flanked by small dots and the year 1942 inscribed proudly, making it easily identifiable to collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Culturally and historically, this coin is a symbol of Australia's unique identity. While the monarch's portrait ties it to the British crown, the kangaroo on the reverse proudly represents Australia's independence and distinctiveness as a nation. The coin embodies both the global connection and the local spirit that defined Australia in the mid-20th century. It is a tangible link to the past, showcasing not just currency but the story of a nation at war, facing challenges, yet holding on to its traditions and values. The 1942 penny weighs approximately 9.45 grams and was made of bronze, an alloy composed mainly of copper with smaller amounts of tin and zinc. Its diameter measures about 30.8 millimeters, which gives it a bold, solid appearance in the hand. These specifications were standard across the penny series of that era, making it a consistent part of Australian coinage, yet today its particular minting year and certain variations set it apart from the rest. Among the key facts worth noting is that although millions of pennies were struck in 1942, not all of them carry the same level of desirability. Coins minted in Bombay bear a small dot below the scroll, distinguishing them from their Melbourne counterparts, and this minor detail significantly impacts collectability. Furthermore, the scarcity of well-preserved examples in circulation condition makes them even more appealing to enthusiasts who are searching for authentic wartime coinage. When it comes to rarity and condition, collectors place immense importance on how well the coin has survived over the decades. Circulated examples with heavy wear are more common, but those that remain sharp with visible details fetch higher prices. Extremely fine or uncirculated specimens are particularly scarce and command premium values in the numismatic market. Even in circulated condition, the 1942 penny is a sought-after piece, reflecting the strong demand among both seasoned collectors and those just beginning their journey into Australian coin collecting. Now to the most exciting part, the current market value. While everyday worn examples may sell for modest sums, coins that have been preserved in excellent condition can achieve remarkable figures. At present, high-grade examples of the 1942 Australian penny have been known to sell in the range of $6,300, while those in exceptional, almost pristine condition have reached as high as $8,900 in auctions and private sales. This impressive jump in value highlights the importance of condition and rarity, and it demonstrates the ongoing demand for this historic coin in today's numismatic market. For collectors interested in acquiring or preserving a 1942 penny, there are a few tips to keep in mind. Always handle your coins carefully, preferably with cotton gloves, to avoid leaving marks or fingerprints that can damage the surface. Store them in protective holders or coin albums to keep them safe from scratches, dust, and environmental damage. It's also wise to research thoroughly and, when possible, purchase from reputable dealers or auctions to ensure authenticity. Being mindful of these steps will help protect not only the beauty of the coin but also its long-term value. In conclusion, the 1942 Australian 1 penny is much more than just an old coin. It's a piece of history that tells a story of wartime Australia, a symbol of cultural pride with its kangaroo design, and a highly desirable item in today's collector market. With its strong demand, historical importance, and impressive values ranging from thousands of dollars depending on grade and rarity, it stands as a testament to how coins can transcend their role as currency and become cherished treasures. For anyone interested in Australian history, numismatics, or investment in rare coins, the 1942 penny remains one of the most exciting finds you can hope to come across. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stay tuned to World Numismatic Finds for more rare and valuable coin discoveries from around the world.